Another video coming to you guys from my brand new built shop. I built this whole place myself. As you guys can see, we got the Bend Pack 2-post lift with the Subaru on it. So that only means one thing. We got some Subaru stuff we gotta do. So let's get to it. Recently, I found a small oil leak on the Subaru coming from the oil control valve on the exhaust side, and we're gonna address this issue. I didn't see too many videos on the internet on how to do it when it's actually on the car, so let's get to it and show you guys how to do it. So excited. We got the bend pack in the back, no more working on the floor. This is a dream come true. So we already lifted the car up in the air. Now the first thing we're gonna need to do before we get started, we're gonna need to go ahead and remove this splash shield underneath the car, which is right here, this metal thing. So let me get to removing this and show you guys the oil control valve. All right guys, we're gonna interrupt today's video with our sponsor, NUKE. NUKE makes one of these power turbo fan. It's almost like a duster. You remember back in the day when we were kids, there was those dusters you would dust your keyboard with. It was in a can, and this is kind of the same thing, but this is electric. So they went and sent me one of these to test. So let's get this out of this box and see what's inside. So once you open it, there's the instruction manual. Now you got this very high-end looking duster right here. So this is what it looks like. Oh, it's like a turbo. Does this do anything? Oof. So this is blowing air right now. Different speeds, I guess. Oh my goodness. How do you turn this off? All right, you just hold it, turn it off. What else is in this kit? Got a nice little bag. All right, so inside this box, I think these are like different nozzle heads. So long nozzle, shorter nozzle, cleaning brushes to clean it. And then I believe these are like different style heads. So let's try this one. So we got the nozzle, got our air duster. I believe, yep, just like that, just clicks in place. Check that out. So now, like I said, this can be used for many things. For example, let's see if it can dust off that leaf. Yep, very strong. Higher speeds. It's the highest. It's gonna move the box. Wow, dust off. Can even be a leaf blower if you wanted it to. Look at that. Oh wow, it's even stronger. This is crazy. I assume you could use this for when you wash a car if you want to like do your windows and stuff. The water out, I typically use a leaf blower, but maybe I might have to try testing this. Now in this kit, it comes with everything you need, all the different heads, cleaning brushes, charger, super sick setup actually. So yeah, if you guys are interested in a turbo blower or turbo fan for your computer, like I said, car wash even, any sort of dusting, cleaning, this is the setup for you. So if you guys are interested in the NUKE blower fan, go check them out. Links in the description. Get yourself one. It's a pretty nice, handy setup. I'm very impressed with it. Thank you, NUKE, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to normal programming. All right, so now that we're underneath the light, we're gonna turn on the boom light, and you guys can see this is the oil control valve. So there's 4 of these on the Subarus, 1 on each exhaust side. So we got 1 on this side, got another one on this side. You guys can see this is very dry. The reason I found out this was leaking too, I replaced all my pigtails, which is these guys right here. I fixed them. Shout out to iWire for supplying those. And I noticed that this guy was very oily. And you guys can see right there too, it's wet right now. And a lot of times it's this O-ring that sits behind here. But mine, considering being wet all over, and when I replaced the pigtail inside of it was wet. I think the solenoid itself, the interior of it has gone bad. So this is a relatively easy fix. You have to remove obviously the engine shroud underneath, and then typically on the driver's side, like we have here, there is no valve cover interference, so you can just take this bolt off, pop this guy off and replace it. But I believe on the passenger side that is not possible, because if you guys can see right there, there's the valve cover bolt that interferes with the head of the solenoid. So in this case, I believe we're gonna need to remove this whole bracketry. It's held on by these 4 10mm bolts. This is just a ground strap bolt. So we're gonna need to undo this and take this guy out. Now we're gonna do the installation. We got my Milwaukee cart, we got our tools. You need your ratchet, size 13 and 10 for my undershroud. Nice little ratcheting thing, and then we need a torque wrench. This is a very low torque on the FSM, which I have printed right here. It shows 7.4 foot-pounds for the T2s. which are the 4 bolts I was showing you guys, and T1, which is 5.5 for the ground strap. We don't need to worry about the ground strap, just these guys. 7.4 foot-pounds. You don't want to go over this. You will damage your head because it's an aluminum head. So I have an inch-pound torque wrench. 7.4 foot-pounds is 88.8 inch-pounds. So we're going to be using this later. And then shout out to my engine builder, the best, Vadim, Maxim, thank you, from Opposite Motors. They were the people who built my motor for me in the Subaru. This thing's been a beast. We're about 30,000 miles on it now with 0 issues whatsoever. So huge shout out to them. Check them out. Any FA, EJ, N54, S54, B58 motors, a lot of them. They build a lot of stuff. Very, very cool people. They are just like myself at TRIGGZZ. They do everything themselves. Hit them up. They will give you the best bang for your buck. Also the highest quality. And I can vouch for that just because look at this thing. I've beaten, used and abused this thing for 30,000 miles now. 0 issues whatsoever. But Vadim went ahead after I told him the issue I was having. He went ahead and sent me a brand new solenoid. You guys can see this is what the solenoid looks like. This is what goes in there. Now, I don't think, like I said, I can remove this out of the car on this side without removing the bracketry. And he told me I could reuse the gasket, but these gaskets are honestly so cheap. They're $7 at Subaru. This is the part number. I went ahead and just got a new gasket for it. And in the FSM, it does say to use a new gasket. So yeah, we're gonna be doing this. So first thing, obviously, you want to clean this thing. If you buy a brand new from Subaru, then great. If you get one like I did, you're gonna want to spray some WD-40 inside the solenoid holes, just like that, and I'll squirt out the end. And then use an air gun or like one of these things. Shout out to Mecco for sending me a long time ago one of these to blow out all the air, just in case if there's any debris or anything inside of here. You want to get it cleaned. You want to make sure it's nice and clean before installation. So we're gonna go ahead and now throw this guy on, but first we got to remove this thing, so let's get to doing that. All right, so as you guys saw, this thing fell out of my hand. Of course, it's very oily. But this is our bracketry that holds the solenoid in its place. This is our old gasket. I see, Vadim, why you say you can reuse it. It still looks like in good shape, but we got a new one anyways. And this is our old solenoid. You guys can see how oily this thing is. But the main concern was, you guys see the pigtail right there? Inside of it, if this camera can focus, it's very, very oily. That shouldn't be the case. I believe inside this there is a plunger that goes forward and backwards. This plunger has gotten destroyed, and that's why it's leaking, because our O-ring doesn't look like it's damaged. So yeah, well anyways, we're here to replace it. So now the installation process is pretty much straightforward. Reverse, go ahead and clean this off. You're gonna want to also clean off the cylinder head right there. Ours looks very clean. Install your new solenoid into it, and this thing pretty much just plugs right in like this. If you have it, you hear it give this nice pop noise. So that's installed right there, good to go. You can bolt it down before you throw it in, and then when you want to remove it, same thing. If I can do it with one hand. But while you're here, clean everything off, make sure it's nice and clean. It can get a little messy, so just be prepared. All right, so now that we've cleaned everything up and made it nice and clean, no debris or nothing on it, the housing itself is very, very clean. I'm gonna go ahead and put the solenoid in. It's as easy as just pushing the solenoid into the housing. New solenoid, and go just like this, pop, and we are installed. We can go ahead and install this bolt right now onto it to secure it into the housing. Then we can put on our new gasket, clean the head, and go ahead and install it. All right, so my camera ended up dying in time lapse of doing the put on, but pretty much you're gonna wanna pass the bolts through, line up the gasket, then go ahead and tie in. Now we got our torque wrench at 88 inch-pounds, and we're gonna go over the bolts, make sure they're tight. Put a little extension on. Nice. All right, everything's torqued to spec now. Now you're gonna wanna go ahead and just clean the surrounding area of some of the excess of oil. Then when it came down, clean your headers, all that stuff, and then you're pretty much good to go. You can go ahead and install everything back up, start up the car, and see how everything is doing. All right, now everything is wiped off. I'm gonna go ahead and put a rag on our exhaust pipe. This job can be a little messy. Now with brake cleaner, I'm gonna go ahead and spray down the solenoid housing. Make sure all the leftover oil gets out. Now let everything just dry up for a few minutes and we're good to go. We'll go ahead and clean everything off and start up the car and check for leaks. All right, now we got everything plugged up, ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and turn on the car and lift it up in the air and see how it is. And just like that, we went ahead and turned on the car, let it get fully warmed up, inspect everything for any sorts of oil leaks, and we found none. Everything is done correctly and nicely. I also had a nice exhaust leak right here. I went ahead and replaced it, one of the Grimspeed 2x thickness gaskets. But I have a feeling my up pipe is warped, but that's all right. But this is installed. Hopefully this helps some of you guys out. I also, with a paint pen, marked the bolts so you can always check and see if they ever move. This is common practice I do on a lot of things on this car and every other car. I used to not do this, but it's a nice peace of mind when you do it. Anyways, this is installation for that. Hopefully you guys can use this video to do this for yourself if you end up having this issue. And thanks again for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you in the next episode.